Good morning, guys. Welcome to the pre-market video in equity, guys. My name is Chirag, an ISM certified technical analyst, and let's get into the pre-market view for the 29th of July. So looking at how Nifty closed yesterday, we see Nifty closed 0.63% lower yesterday, and Bank Nifty closed 0.79% lower negative yesterday. So Sensex also closed about 0.7% lower, which is not at all good for the Indian markets because it's closed below that 24,730 levels. So seeing what is happening today, Nifty futures compared to Nifty and Bank Nifty futures compared to Bank Nifty, both trading at a premium, which is bullish. Coming over to India VIX we see is trading at a positive of 6.91%, which is extremely bearish for the Indian markets. Looking over to the crude oil data, we did see that it was an increase from what it was yesterday, up by about 2%, I think, and that is definitely bearish for the Indian markets. Not at all good. Overall levels is still bullish, but again you have the bearish tendencies today from crude oil there. Gift Nifty giving you a slight gap down above of about 30 points, so that is something that we have to see if it will sustain or not. Moving over to Nifty Bs and Bank Bs, we see Nifty Bs down 0.46%, Bank Bs down 0.66%, Gold Bs down 0.08%, and Silver Bs down 1.38%. So extremely negative data all around when it comes to just the Nifties and the indexes overall. Moving on to the sectoral, we see there is selling in all the sectors except for utilities, but again, very slight amount of buying shouldn't make any sort of difference in the sectors. Also in consumer goods, you see slight amount of buying, but huge selling in where in all the big sectors such as IT and even capital goods are seeing a extreme amount of selling here, and even banking. So this is going to be very it's going to be a negative view, definitely a lot of bearish data here. Moving on to NSE, again we see almost 2270 declines, which is not at all good, especially at these levels where Nifty is trading at. It should start to turn back up, but we are seeing a lot of bearish data here. Looking at the FII DI data, almost 6,000 crores of selling from the FIIs, but the DIIs are matching it in the cash market. Whereas in the FNO market, one second. Whereas in the FNO market, we see that almost there's 1,000 crores of selling in index futures, and there is about 2,000 crores of buying in stock futures here. So slightly mixed data here. Definitely stock futures is seeing quite a bit of positive. Index futures is seeing a lot of selling. So a bit of mixed data here, definitely from the FII DIA activity. Moving on to the advance decline ratios, we see that there's 16 advances, 34 declines, definitely bearish. 3 advances, 9 declines, again definitely bearish. Moving on to the sectors in Nifty, we see a lot of red sectors here, especially in key areas like finance, which is not at all good. Moving over to option chain. So in option chain, we see that there is a lot of buying inputs, both in the money and out of the money. So this definitely means that the market is coming down. Whereas in calls, you see buying in the money, selling in the money and out of the money, which is definitely bearish in nature in the option chain. As of today, the range that we see for the option chain, right, is definitely in the ranges of 24 sort of 600 to 24,800. We are looking at these ranges because that's where the most amount of volumes are in the market, so we can expect the market to be around in these ranges for today. Moving on to the global indices, we definitely see that the US is slightly positive. Dow Jones a little negative, but S&P 500 and Nasdaq both closing positive. S&P more on the neutral side, but again overall positive data in the US. Looking out to the European side is completely negative. DAX 1% lower, FTSE almost 0.43% lower, and CAC almost 0.43% lower. And finally, coming on to the Asian markets, we see Nikkei is 0.81% lower. Their Kospi again opened 0.06%, 0.06% lower, and then Hang Seng is they actually closed a positive of 0.68% there, but definitely bearish on the Asian front too here. Looking at the Indian areas, definitely selling in major stocks. Wipro almost seeing 5% of selling, which is not at all good. HDFC Bank seeing almost 1.3%. Infosys seeing almost 1.21%. So extremely bearish on the data there too. Looking at stock futures, we see that stock index futures, right? We see that US 30 has seen is running slightly positive, whereas US 500 and Tech 100 is also running a positive of zero point 0.1 and zero point 0.2 respectively. Okay, moving over to the PCR data, guys. Looking at PCR data, we are at 0.53% or 0.53 in Nifty 50 and almost zero point 0.6 in Bank Nifty. Definitely very oversold levels, so we can expect that V-shape recovery on the upside. So coming down a little and moving up again is what we can expect over in Nifty. So moving on to the view for the day, basically we have to see if this 24 sort of 730 levels is being respected. This 24 730 level, we should kind of see a bounce back from here. It should not go below this levels. We should start seeing the market kind of turn up from here, especially because Nifty is at that oversold levels too. So that turn up is very very important. That needs to happen, otherwise we'll be in a bit of problems here. Looking at today, we can see compared to how Nikkei was working, a gap down, which we are also kind of facing a little bit of sell off and then consolidation that could happen here. So that is one thing that we are seeing. It could happen in the Indian markets too. But looking at that, the major supports and resistances that we need to look out for is R1 and S1 today. So as long as R1 and S1 are respected, that should be amazing. R2 and S2 again, those are where the reversals come from, but mostly we're looking at S1 and S2 today. So those 24 6 46 levels and 24 473 levels. The 473 levels will be quite dangerous if it goes down till there. Not good for the Indian markets, but definitely the S1 levels, you can probably see it taking support somewhere there and probably trying to turn up there. So don't forget, guys, if you guys want to learn any setups or learn more things about the stock market, we are having a new batch on the 2nd of August, so you guys can go ahead and join that. And looking at the other things, please guys, trade one setup. Make sure you guys are trading in one index, one time frame, so that there's a good amount of clarity in what you guys have. And hopefully everything hopefully you guys have a great trading day. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you.